What's good, Gains Squad, Gains Team, Gains Fam? Wayne Gains here. Welcome back to the channel. Oh man, guys, it's been a while since we made a video. And I want to get this out to you guys. It's been 2 weeks since, it's November 4th, Saturday. It's been 2 weeks since my last show, Wnbf, Battle for Broadway. And yeah, where do we begin? So, I mean, if you're watching this, you probably already read the title, read the caption, looked at the caption, or I mean the thumbnail. So you kind of know what this video is about. First things first, I'm gonna say that my season's done. I'm not competing at what was my main show, which is Wnbf Worlds, which is going to happen in 2 weeks, November 14th, or 10 days actually, so less than 2 weeks. I opted to drop out, mainly because I had shows planned. If you guys have been following the journey, you guys know I had shows planned, and I wanted to qualify, but that just didn't play out how we wanted it to. And I talked to the Coach Berto, 3DMJ, and I just decided to kind of call the season early, because I did have an opportunity to do a couple more shows. There was like 3 more WNBF shows that I could have, or WNBF shows that I could have traveled to. It was Granite stayed open. I think that was in New Hampshire, I want to say, or Rhode Island. The Monster Mash in Boston. I know for sure the LA Mayhem is this weekend. There was a few options. I could have tried to do these shows, one of these shows, or multiple shows to try and qualify for Worlds, but I just decided to just call the season and transition back into a gaining phase. That's pretty much what this video is about. And yeah, I'm going to talk about a little bit about why I decided to just call the season. Damn, where do I start? So I guess we could start by saying, the initial plan, I think. So I had 3 shows planned this season, and the first one being WNBF, Wnbf, Pro Universe Natural Mania Nationals, and I wanted to use that show to qualify for Worlds. That was like my main plan with that show. Everything else, if I did better than that, would be just icing on the cake, but that was the main plan. We were gonna do that, use that to qualify for Worlds, and then the next month we were supposed to do the Mr. America just for fun, because I heard good things about that show. So I did that for fun. That's obviously not affiliated with WNBF, so no matter how I placed there, it wouldn't have any effect or any way to qualify for WNBF Worlds, which was my main show this season. And yeah, third show being the following month, November 14th, was going to be WNBF Worlds. There's just 3 shows I had planned this season. If everything went planned, then I would be doing WNBF Worlds. However, we got a few curveballs. At the Pro Universe Natural Mania, my first show, I ended up getting 4th, so I got bumped. You have to get top 3 to qualify for Worlds, so I got bumped there. Then I still continued to do the Mr. America because I already had paid for it and I signed up for it. So we did that, and then last minute I signed up for the Dwayne Broadway show, the Wnbf Dwayne Broadway show. I did that 2 weeks ago. It's a small show. I didn't expect it to be that small, so I got 2nd in my class, but there was only 3 people in my class. So the rules is if there's 5 or more in your class, all you have to do is get top 3. But since there was less than 5 in my class, you have to actually win your class to qualify for Worlds. So I got 2nd. I had the opportunity to choose from those few shows that I mentioned earlier to try and qualify, but I just did a lot of thinking, and yeah, I talked to the Coach Berto, and I told him that I didn't want to continue. So the reason why I opted to just go into a gaining phase is just because, in a nutshell, I mean, first off, I've been dieting since December, right? We ended my gaining phase, bulking phase in, I want to say like toward the end of December, like right after Christmas. I started a pre-prep phase. I wasn't vlogging or documenting at the time, unless you were following me on Instagram, because that's where I was documenting everything. And I didn't start making the YouTube stuff until I actually jumped into my prep phase. So we did a pre-prep from December to all the way till March, and I went from like 186-ish all the way down to like 164 low 160s, mid 160s. I want to say like 163, 165, around there. Then we took a 2-month break, diet break, from March, the end of March to May. And around the end of May is when I started my actual prep. And I was like around 165, low 160s when we first started. And I think we thought like getting to the stage weight was probably going to be like 145-ish, probably low 140s. And that was like the initial plan. And so yeah, I'm saying all that to say I was dieting since December, and we got to the first show, and I already felt like I wasn't conditioned enough to win the show. But I was just trying to stay positive and you know, kind of just keep stress as low as possible. Being stressed while you're super dieted down, especially during peak week, is just not ideal for the physique. It definitely affects the physique. It'll cause water retention. It'll cause the physique just to not look its best. And so I was just trying to be super positive during that peak week. And yeah, but I already knew where I was just looking at my physique, and being critical about it. Just like I knew I wasn't where I wanted to be the first show, which is okay because it's the first show, and the main show is the Worlds, which is where I want to be 100%. And I think I was more around like 85, 90% over there. And yeah, there was like a super stressful like peak week. If you guys go back and watch the vlogs, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch the vlogs from that show, because I explained, like I vlogged every day leading up to that show. So you'll see that like how stressful it was for me. I was barely getting any sleep, like 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep. There's just a lot to fix in the nutrition, and yeah, it just wasn't the best. Man, the night before I probably got like 4 hours of sleep, so it was just bad, man. It was bad, definitely not ideal, and I feel like it did affect the physique in a way. And then, you know, after that show, I knew I had to get more conditioned. So I was just really pushing my body. We dropped down to like 1,200 calories, 1,200 to 1,400 calories. And I know Berto wanted me at like 8 to 10,000 steps, but I was running myself into the ground because I wanted to get that conditioning. And which is, in hindsight, is not the best to like really like stress your body out more than, you know, you're already stressed out. So yeah, I was moving like 15 to 20K steps with like 1,200 to 1,400 calories going into the Mr. America. And the sleep got a little bit better, but it just wasn't all the way the best. And so, you know, going into Mr. America, I got third, which was great. But you know, I still didn't think I came in better, which is great. But I didn't come in how, you know, at 100% there, which is fine because that's not the main show. So. Onward to, what was it, like a week later, or 2 weeks later, I did the Dwayne Broadway show. The least stressed I've ever been at any show this season. Got great sleep. It was a very local show, like 10 minutes from where I live, and it like right where I grew up. So I was very familiar with the area. So yeah, it was like the least stressful show. It's just unfortunate that it was a very small show. I think I definitely would have been able to qualify there, and then if I did, I would, you know, bring it even tighter at Worlds, and that was the ideal, but it didn't happen that way. And you know, because I was super stressed, there's just a lot of things I was going through mentally. Like, I think if you guys know, but if you don't know, I was gonna say, but if you guys know, and you've been deep dieted into a contest prep, just a lot of negative side effects that come with it, man, especially if you're not on top of your recovery. Yeah, it just gets rough. There's so much things that you know, you're already dieted down for so long, it affects your hormones. I felt like I was almost like just a walking, like a robot with no soul. Like that's what every day was regimented, and it just wasn't feeling good. I was just super stressed out, and then along with, you know, I started to get very food focused, and I started getting to a point where I was just like on YouTube watching people eat food, you know, watching food videos every night. And like the closer it got to the tail end of prep, you know, I was very locked in, and almost too locked in, where like it was affecting my life outside, like my real life out of prep. You know, I was becoming very irritable. I didn't want to pick up any more clients because I was just so tired, so drained. Yeah, I was just leaking into my life, and there was a lot of things I went throughout this whole year, because I was dieting for almost a year, from December all the way to October. So what is that? That's like 10 months, 11 months. So it was just becoming very, very stressful. And I think at some point you have to like, it's not about being like weak or being a quitter. It's more about like understanding like when it's time to pull the plug. Because I also did start to feel like, you know, my physique was getting tighter, but I felt like I was losing a lot of muscle. It could have been me like overthinking things, but just looking at pictures, it just wasn't, you know, it just wasn't. I don't know. I just felt like I couldn't. Like if I dieted more, I just felt like I wasn't gonna get better. That was like the main reasons, and as well as like if just reflecting on the whole season, there was so many hardships I went through this year, and not to get too personal because I don't really like to put my business out there. But you guys are the Gaines fam, so I'm gonna be straight up. You know, right when I started prep, my cousin passed away. So yeah, 33 years old, suddenly just passed away. That started to like kind of come up in my mind because it happened on October 31st, like a couple days before her actual birthday. And you know, at that time, I was so locked into prep. You know, I was like, it didn't really register. You know, I had goals and I wanted to keep that in mind. I feel like if I fell too off the deep side and fall into like a depression, I didn't want to. I kind of almost blocked that out because I knew that that might affect me mentally and keep me off my game. And you know, it's something that, you know, I started to think about a lot toward the tail end of prep. And it's just weird, toward the tail end of prep, I had like no feelings. You know, I had no emotions because I was just so, my hormones are all messed up, you know, and which is normal for when you're dieting deep like that. But I didn't like it. I didn't like the person I was becoming. It was just leaking into my, you know, my real life. And I think that like I started thinking about that, as well as, you know, right when prep started, right after Christmas, I tore my left hamstring. And I was gonna call the season there, but then you know, I already had, you know, I was just locked in. Yeah, so I was like, you know, and I had Nick, the 3DMJ physical therapist, help me out, which was awesome. So I was back on my training like right away. But it was definitely a regressed version of training. You know, I couldn't really do any hinging movements, so that kind of like messed up all the lower body training for about like 3 months, from like December all the way to like, I want to say like March. I couldn't really get back into progressive lower body training. So that I went through that, and then that kind of messed me up a little bit. I was very positive with it, and we got back to our feet, but definitely I feel like that affected, you know, the way my physique looked, especially with the lower body stuff. Wasn't able to train progressively, so that's not ideal. And then in May, you know, like my grandma passed away, and that was like a big thing. And you know, I kind of like was so locked in, and that really didn't even register either. And so yeah, like all that stuff started weaning on me, and that plus no sleep is just not a good recipe for my mental, you know. And I was trying everything to just like really focus on the prep and recovery and trying to get better sleep, and it just wasn't like getting much better. And so yeah, I think it reflected with all these shows. Like it showed like in my physique for sure, just all the stress. I was definitely trying to stay positive the whole way because just being stressed is not good for the mental and for the physique. It affects your physique, man, whether you know or not. You know, just being stressed out and not optimally, I guess, recovering affects the physique for sure. So it's going through all that stuff, and you know, I never really got a chance because of prep. I never really got a chance to like register some things because I was just so locked in. And yeah, like and yeah, and so all these things just really like, I guess, culminated into like the reasons why I decided to just end prep, because it was just getting so hard and it wasn't getting easier. I got down to the lowest of 145 before Dwayne Broadway, and it was tough to get there, man. It was really tough to get there. Just being honest, like while I was going through it, you know, I didn't want to tell myself that it was hard. I was just kind of locked in. I'm like, you know, like nothing's gonna stop me. I had that like, you know, I'm gonna grind for it mentality because you know, I felt like I got this far into prep that like I can't, like I don't want to leave any stone unturned. I want to give it my all and just continue to grind and stay locked in. But it just, you know, day to day, it was just rough. So yeah, that was like the main reason. If I didn't, I already knew going into Dwayne Broadway, if I don't qualify here, I'm done. I just didn't say anything, but you know, just reflecting over the weeks, I was already thinking about that after the first show, because already we were getting all these curveballs. So I'm like, yo, if I'm gonna do Mr. America, and then I'll probably do one more show after that, and I opted to do Dwayne Broadway just because it was local. I would save a lot of money, and it would just be less stressful. And it was, and all that was true. I saved a lot of money because it was local, as opposed to doing Monster Mash, which or the Granite Open or LA Mayhem, where I would have to travel, and yeah, I feel like that would be so much more stressful. So, man, after the Dwayne Broadway show, I was happy with where I was. We got way better than 2021. We got better than the previous shows, and that was like the main reason why I wanted to compete this year. Just to kind of see my potential, because in 2021 I didn't come in condition enough. I was a little bit salty with how that season went, and so I just wanted to take a year off and then get back in here, get some, you know, see if I'm, you know, cut for this, like see pretty much just get data, you know, and see my potential. That's what I told Berto, and yeah, he kind of, I think he kind of wanted me to continue to grind and compete, but definitely he respects my decision on, especially after I'm just telling him all the reasons why. And we spoke, and yeah, and that was last week, right after the show. And yeah, the reason why I waited a couple weeks just to kind of get healthy, you know, like I wanted to be able to, before I made this video, I wanted to be able to reflect on the season and reflect on my decision and just get my mental healthy, because felt like since 8 weeks out from the first show, like I want to say July, yeah, I was just like mentally not in there, you know. I was just so locked in, and yeah, like I think when you make decisions when you're not when you're dieted down, it's a little bit tough. So I know you guys, a lot of you guys have been DMing me the past couple of weeks talking about, you know, where are the updates and whatnot, and you know, I was kind of just like, if I didn't message you back, it was, I saw it, but it was just more like, you know, I just wanted to have time to myself to reflect and get healthy, eat up a little bit, get my mental right, get my hormones a little bit back in check, and then really give myself time to reflect. Because also, you know, what was a little bit stressful throughout the season was that, like, I was filming and editing like every day, and I loved it, but it was just, you know, I think that added on to the extra stress, because I always felt like I had to like drop videos, and you know, if you know, you know, but it's tough to like do things like that, like while you're going through prep, man, especially when you have a life outside of bodybuilding, you know. And yeah, it became tough. Everything, just a mixture of everything, everything I mentioned was just super stressful. So yeah, that was, in a nutshell, that was like the main reason. These are the reasons why you know, I opted to one, end prep early, and two, you know, take like a 2-week break off of just creating content. Because another thing too was, man, I'm getting all these opportunities and sponsorships, and you know, I needed to create content for it, and I just had no energy to do that. And I wanted to make sure I get these vlogs out for y'all, and just to document my journey as I go through it. And you know, I'm super happy that I did that, and very, very appreciative of you guys that have been following the Gains fam, and you guys have been following the journey, man. And you know, I met a few of you at my shows, and it's a great feeling that I'm able to impact and leave a mark on the community in a positive way, man. Because that's all I really wanted. This is all like, with this bodybuilding stuff, like, it's cool. Like, I love competing. I love the lifestyle even more. Like, just going through the processes of bodybuilding, like competing and just living the bodybuilding lifestyle, right? Just living a healthier lifestyle and being able to inspire the younger kids that or whoever like that's just getting into bodybuilding, or that wants to kind of get insight on what you have to go through to compete at bodybuilding shows through my lens. And yeah, man, it's just a good feeling because you know, when I first got into this, I really enjoyed watching like people like Matt Ogus and Chris Jones and the Chris Elkins and the Christian Guzmans, etc., etc. Like I loved watching that, and it kept me motivated. It kept me grounded in this whole fitness space. So yeah, I want to be that. I think that like leaving a mark, a positive mark in this community it's been my goal. More than it means more to me than any other, you know, any placings I can get at any show, any bodybuilding show. Yeah, just to leave a positive impact, right, and just inspire and continue to learn and teach. And yeah, and that's my main goal. So I'm not in a rush to compete again or to you know, fucking go to worlds and you know, to win or anything. It's just man, I just love it, really. And yeah, like that's my biggest thing. It's like for me, this whole bodybuilder thing is bigger than any placement I will ever get, and that's why I create this content. It's more about just not myself, you know. It's just bigger than bodybuilding to me. And yeah, this is a long video, so I kind of want to cut it short. And yeah, guys, I'll probably end it here because this is a long video. Mentally, I'm in a good spot, and yeah, I'll keep giving you guys updates. I plan on going crazy with the content this off season, so stay tuned, Gains fam. So yeah, this is getting pretty long, so I'm gonna end it here. If you got this far, man, I appreciate you guys. Gains fam, I love you guys, man. Thank you so much for the support. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys join the Gains fam by subscribing to the channel. Like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Gains fam, appreciate you guys. I do plan on going crazy with the content, especially now that I got, you know, this whole reset. I took this 2-week break off, so I'm ready to keep going ham with the content. So stay tuned, man, for the off-season content. And yeah, in the next video, I'll tell you guys the plan, because I definitely talked to Coach Berto, and we have a solid plan in mind. And yeah, stay tuned, y'all. Peace.